What's up, everybody? Another fast week in Oklahoma game day is upon us again, and this is the big one for the Oklahoma Sooners. It's felt a lot like a one-game season, hasn't it? And this is that 1 week. It's OU Texas week, and the Sooners and the Longhorns are both ranked, both undefeated for the first time in 12 years, y'all. OU's up to number 12 in the AP Top 25 this week. The Sooners are 5-0, and they're 2-0 in Big 12 play, just like Texas. Longhorns are number 3 in the AP poll this week. And if you look at the voting, they're not that far away from being ranked number 1 overall. You see what I'm saying? So this is a big one. The AllSooners staff is going to be in Dallas on Saturday, just like always, from pregame to postgame as OU takes on the Horns. I'm John Hoover, publisher at AllSooners, and although this is my 20th consecutive OU Texas game to cover, I'm going to need to bring in Ryan Chapman and Randall Sweet one more time to help me break it down this week. Kickoff is Saturday morning, 11 a.m. It's on ABC. And hey, college game day's in town, right? Baker Mayfield, celebrity picker. Pretty cool, guys. We're going to go deep on these two burning questions today. I hope you're ready. Here we go. Number 1, who's the most experienced quarterback in this game? Simple enough, right? Is it Quinn Ewers, who's actually played in this game before last year, 49-0? Or is it Dillon Gabriel, who's got 43 career starts in college football, has thrown for almost 13,000 yards, 110 touchdown passes? Maybe a better way of saying it, whose experience counts more on Saturday?
Yeah, for a long time, John, you've rolled out a stat that talks about this exact issue, and the thing that matters is experience in the Red River rivalry. Quinn Ewers has played in one. Dillon Gabriel has stood on the sideline for half of one and warmed up. It's Quinn Ewers. He's got the experience in this environment, and that is what's going to matter. This is the biggest game of Dillon Gabriel's career, and he's played a ton of football at UCF, where none of that came close to preparing him for the test that would be quarterback at Oklahoma. Just look at his 2022 experience. I think that there was a lot of Dillon Gabriel grappling with the pressure that is playing at Oklahoma. Now, he's playing the best football of his career right now, but he has never experienced an environment like this. Quinn Ewers has, and Quinn Ewers has been in the spotlight for much longer than Dillon Gabriel has been a known name in college football. You talk about Brent Venables in his press conference, South Lake Carroll for Quinn. He goes to Ohio State, reclassifies, that's high profile, comes to Texas, being the quarterback of Texas. Quinn should not be bothered by pressure, expectation, any of that. Dillon Gabriel, an unknown guy at UCF, comes on strong as a freshman, and then he's at UCF, and he struggled to step up to the level last year. So while I think that you'll get a much better performance than a total, true freshman or anything like that, Quinn Ewers is the most experienced guy in this game, and when it comes to actually battling in this atmosphere where both those guys are going to have to make plays in a close contest, I think Quinn Ewers has the edge.
Well, I think that even though Dillon Gabriel hasn't played in an OU Texas game before, I think that his 4 years of college football experience will really pay off in this game for him. Obviously, this is a game where emotions can get the better of you, but I think that for a player who's played so much college football, he might not have the same issue with his emotions, getting the better of him as a younger player like a Quinn Ewers. Now, Quinn Ewers obviously played in this game last year, but being such a blowout from start to finish, there wasn't really a high pressure situation like there could be if this year's game is close. And in that situation, if OU is able to get to Quinn Ewers, they're able to rattle him early. That might be the recipe to knock him off his game and really give Dillon Gabriel the advantage. We've seen how his experience as a college football quarterback has helped him this year. I mean, he's been one of the top quarterbacks in all of college football statistically. If he's able to continue that against Texas, I think that OU is going to have a great shot. And I think that his experience, his 4 years of college football, really will give him that edge on Saturday.
Okay, so here's my thing on this one. Yes, Ewers has played in this game before, right? Gabriel hasn't, right? That's simple enough. But let me ask you, what exactly did Quinn Ewers have to do last year? That thing was over quick. It was 49-0. It wasn't close ever. He was not stressed at all. He didn't have to actually do it. He played well, okay? But he didn't actually have to do anything. No, Ewers' biggest game of his career came about a month ago in Tuscaloosa. And yes, he did go on the road and played really well and beat the Crimson Tide. No doubt about it. Give him his flowers. But then you flip it over to Gabriel. What, he played South Florida a couple of times when he was at UCF? I mean, he was 0-2 against Tulsa. Come on. I hate to do this. I know I'm like the tiebreaker on these, but I'm going to say this one is a push. Neither guy comes into Saturday with a whole lot of experience in the absolute craziness and bedlam and chaos that could be another Oklahoma-Texas Classic. So we'll see. All right, number 2. Forget the players for just a second. Forget the talent that's on the field. If this thing comes down to a chess match between Steve Sarkisian and Brent Venables, who wins the game and why? I'm gonna offer you this. All right. Sark was never the nation's highest paid offensive coordinator that I recall. Right? He's a sharp dude, and he's been on his game. Also, give him his flowers. But in his career as an offensive coordinator, he was never really viewed as like the best offensive mind in the game. Right? Venables was on defense, both when he was at Oklahoma and when he was at Clemson. Yeah, I think Sark's got better talent this year. I think he's got better players. I made my prediction. I think we all know who I picked. Texas is going to win the game. We'll see, right? But put the head coaches in a ring and say best play caller wins. I'm going to go with Venables. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Steve Sarkisian and Brent Venables are two of the most heralded minds in their department in college football. No ifs, ands, buts about it. This is absolutely a top 3 offensive coordinator, a top 3 defensive coordinator. You can split the hairs all you want. It's going to be fun. For me, though, I think Steve Sarkisian would be the one to win this chess match this year because he's in year 3 with his program. Brent Venables is in year 2, and a lot of these guys, Steve Sarkisian said it Monday, a lot of these guys not only are in year 3 as far as Steve Sarkisian being the head coach, but they're in year 3 with Steve Sarkisian at Texas. Oklahoma did a really great job revamping in the portal, but you still got a ton of those guys in year 1, first time experiencing this game, first time experiencing Brent Venables. So you saw last year, if we want to use the chess analogy, Brent Venables was basically playing with pawns and rooks. He could only make very, very simple moves, moving forward once, going forward and sideways. Steve Sarkisian is going to have his whole swath of weapons and everything in that playbook at his disposal. Brent Venables is going to have way more things he can do this year. We've seen the different pressure packages. Go back to that Cincinnati game. We've seen the in-game adjustments. Look at Iowa State. But I still don't think Brent Venables is able to fire off 100% of his playbook with his guys basically a year and a half into this thing. So while I think that the talent is pretty special and pretty spread out across the field, I'd go with Steve Sarkisian this season because he will have the ability to use everything at his disposal, and I just don't think Brent Venables is going to be able to use 100% of his playbook if he needs it against Texas on Saturday.
Well, I know it might surprise some people, but I think Brent Venables, honestly, I mean, this is a guy who's coached in multiple national championship games. Now I know Sarkisian has his history at Alabama, of course, but I think that experience is a little different with the Nick Saban creation than it is under Dabo Swinney at Clemson. And then we've seen what Clemson's been so far without Brent Venables there, meaning versus what Alabama's been without Steve Sarkisian. Maybe that gives a little insight into kind of the control that both of those coaches had when they were coordinators over that program, which could factor into how well they call this game in the X's and O's if it comes down to a coaching battle, like you said. I think that what Brennan showed with the way he's been able to turn around Oklahoma's defense so quickly obviously shows that he is a great defensive coach, and I think that his experience as a DC, especially at a place like Clemson where he was kind of controlling that defense, will really give him the in-game X's and O's play calling experience needed to have the edge over Sarkisian, who of course has stumbled at a few other stops as a head coach.
All right, good stuff as always, fellas. Thanks, guys. Remember, OU was installed as a 5-point underdog. It grew up to 6.5. I've seen 6 today. We'll see how that shakes out. Not sure who I would go for there with the money line. Folks, please remember, you got to bookmark us at AllSooners.com for your wall-to-wall coverage of OU Texas all weekend long. Our staff has got you covered pregame, the in-game live blog, post-game interviews from players and coaches, our post-game reaction, the All Sooners podcast, of course, certified fresh from the press box, and so much more. Just keep it right here at AllSooners.com. For Ryan Chapman and Randall Sweet, I'm John Hoover. See you guys.